Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Baseball family, welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. My name is Brad, and I'm here with our guy, as per usual, Mr. Brig. How are you today, Professor? Assistant Professor? Brig?
No.
What?
No. Not even close. That's funny.
We can't call you the Professor yet?
No. No. Thank you, though.
You're
That's
welcome.
quite the compliment, but yeah, I'm not even close. No.
Oh. Anyway, Brig's here. How are you, Brig?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great, actually. Doing well.
Good.
Things are accelerating rapidly into sports season around here, and we'll see how things go over the next week. I might have some very exciting news to share on the show next week. We'll see how it goes, though.
Yeah,
So
I know
maybe
what's
2
happening,
weeks
and
from
I'm
now,
excited
based
about
on
it.
how things go. But anyway, we got some stuff that we want to get into, some news. Not a lot, but I feel like it's all very dense. So we want to go ahead and jump on into it and get it rolling.
Yeah.
So first things first, my guy, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, has broken and set the new single-season record, home run record for catchers. He hit his 49th home run on Sunday against the A's. Just the A's, Brig. Just the A's.
Be careful now.
Yeah, I know. Watch it. That's 49 home runs. He beat Salvador Perez, his mark of 48. So this is outstanding, and I don't know how you don't give the MVP to the big dumper at this point, Brig. Is there any way?
Yes.
What's
that?
Name it.
It's the Aaron Judge problem. He's going to get votes because of who he is. He's going to get votes
where he is.
because of OPS. He's going to get votes because he's a Yankee. He's going to get votes. There's a number of reasons, but it's going to be hard. It's not going to be a landslide, and he's got a lot of work to do before the end of the season to make it happen. Judge does.
Yes, he does. I think it's an uphill battle for Judge now, whereas for a long time we thought it was an uphill battle for big dumper. But
yep. I think, yeah. The problem is Aaron Judge still has 40 home runs, and he's batting .324 still, 92 RBIs, and let me get his OPS pulled up real quick. He's at his where
is he
it?
one daughter?
Yeah, 1.108. That leads all of Major League Baseball, and his OPS plus is at 203. Also leads all of Major League Baseball. His batting average, on base, and slugging all lead all of Major League Baseball. He also leads all of Major League Baseball in intentional walks. This new stat, RBAT plus, he's leading everybody in that. So it depends on how stat heavy. Even his B WAR is 6.8. That leads all of Major League Baseball. So yeah, it depends on how stat heavy people want to be, and how I think on the other side of that, his home runs are going to help dictate that, depending on how many Cal ends the season with. But the other group will look at the fact that Cal Raleigh's a catcher, and that will also weigh heavily on a certain demographic of voters. So
he has more impact on both sides of the ball than Judge does. That's for sure.
He does. He does.
I think that's going to be. I think it is going to be a significant factor, at least for the people who actually.
Yeah.
No.
Right. It should be. That's the thing. Is it should be a significant factor. Like if there were 10 things that you were going to weight, then that should account for 2 or 3 of them. Right.
You would think that an MVP every year should have both a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger.
You'd think,
right? Like I don't know, and I don't think Cal necessarily has to win a Gold Glove again, but he's going to be in the running for it, I would think. Right?
Oh yeah, I would think so.
I don't know,
but I wonder if Aaron Judge will also be in the running for a Gold Glove. I'm going to look really quick at some of his fielding stats.
So real
to
quick,
really
while
get
you
an
do that, I
idea.
want to go through. He has a few more milestones coming up. He's on pace for 61. His next milestones, 50, would make him.
Mhm.
He'd be the 33rd player ever in the 50 home run club. That seems like a smaller club than I thought it was. 54 is the home run record in a single season for a switch hitter set by Mickey Mantle in 1961. 56 is the franchise record. Ken Griffey Jr. did that twice, 97 and 98. 60, he'll be the 7th player in the 60 home run club, which crazy there's only 6 there right now, right?
I know. Mm-hmm.
That's bonkers. And then 62 is the American League record. Judge set that in
Judge.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After
So I
he
want to
set the
know,
rookie record in 2017.
right? Yeah. So I want to know, Brig, where do you think Cal stops?
I think
Does
he'll
he
get
get
to
all the way to
60.
62? You think he'll get 60?
He'll get 60. I don't know. I'd have to look at strength of schedule. We'd have to look at matchups. We'd have to really get into the weeds to see who he possibly faces on the mound. But I think I think he's going to get to 60. And there's a good chance he breaks the AL record at 63.
He could. That would just be bonkers. So
Yeah.
there's a couple things to think about here though with him is that he typically gets a couple days off a week from behind the plate. At least he has to this point. Last year, I believe down the home stretch, the Mariners had him catch every day.
Yeah.
Because they needed him. Right? They
Yeah.
needed him behind the plate because he's a better option, obviously, than any backup that you're ever going to have, especially last year's
for sure.
Lover. So the rest of the way, you ready for this, Brig?
I'm ready.
San Diego at home. He crushes San Diego pitching. Spoilers. And then in Cleveland, get that Cleveland Jetway.
I don't think that'll be a problem. Yeah.
At the Rays, launch pad.
Got it. Yep.
At Atlanta, things are not going well there these days. St.
wrong.
Louis at home. The Angels at home. Those two could be.
He'll struggle. If he's going to struggle anywhere so far, it's going to be those two places.
It's going to be those. And then the Royals at the Royals, at the Astros. If the Astros flip him around and have him hit right-handed, all he has to do is hit a fly ball and it's going to go out in the Crawford boxes.
I was just going to say that. They're going to need to switch him to the Crawford boxes.
They're going to want him to hit lefty, but even then that's where the majority of his power comes from. And then you've got the Rockies at home for 3 games. Noise.
No big deal. Yeah.
and then they end the season against the Dodgers. So it depends on which Dodger team comes to Seattle.
That's right. Who shows up? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. 63, I don't think is out of the realm of possibility.
I don't think it is either.
Mathematically, he's on pace for 61, but I don't know. It'll be interesting.
If he has some really good day, they're playing at they're away for the Tampa series. It's not in Seattle.
Right. Yeah. It's insane. It's in Tampa.
Okay, so with that ballpark and his
lefty
swing,
man,
dude, he could really make some ground. Yeah. At George M. Steinbrenner Field.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a launch pad there. So I think 63 is a good number. Let's keep track of it. See how he does.
All right. I can see it.
Okay. All right. So, Brig, why don't you talk to us about Samuel Basallo.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, he is the rookie who just debuted like yesterday, 5 minutes ago, for the Orioles. And they signed him to a long-term extension.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brig.
So my question is, from debut to extension, what is happening? I think there's a trend happening. Okay. And I have reasons why I feel that's true. I want your opinion on them as well. But first, let's talk about this Orioles prospect. 8 years, $67 million. That would be wild. 8 years, $67 million. 5 days of total service time, 4 games in the bigs before he ended up with this extension. That is astonishing. However, it is not unprecedented. Let's go down the list. Boston has been doing the same thing. Roman Anthony also just signed an 8-year, $130 million contract. That was August 6th. 46 games in the bigs. Boston did the same thing with Christian Campbell in April, 6 years, $60 million, 6 days of service time. Let's go back to 2024. Colt Keith, Tigers, 0 days of service time. January 2024, signed an extension. Red Sox again, Cedon Rafaela, 49 days of service time. That was April 24. Back to 2023, Jackson Chourio for the Brewers, 0 days of service time. December 23rd, signed an extension. Corbin Carroll, D-backs, 38 days of service time. March 2023, signed his extension. 2022, Michael Harris II for the Braves, 81 days of service time. That was August 2022. Julio Rodriguez, 141 days of service time with the Mariners. August 2022, signs a long-term extension. 2021, Wander Franco with the Rays. Now, this is 104 days of service time, still under 1 year of play. November 21, they sign his long-term. And then Luis Robert Jr. with the White Sox, 0 days of service time. January 2020, he gets a long-term contract. My question to you then, Brad, is A, do you see the same trend I'm seeing? That's the first question. B, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry. Oh, I was going to say, but if you look at all these, because I just went and looked at Colt Keith's real quick, they just bought him out through arbitration. They got him, it's 6 years. And so what it is they're like, we're just going to pay you all this, and then we're not going to have to deal with arbitration, any of that. You're set to go until you hit free agency. When you would be hitting free agency anyway. And so, yes, he's getting a significant pay raise from what he's gotten, but it also protects the team from him being absolutely outrageous. If he becomes a Super 2, hits arbitration early, if he is Randy Arozarena is making a bunch of money after arbitration last year or 2 years ago, something like that. Like, it's just obscene. Like, let me look at it real quick, because I look at it all the time. I'm like, man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$11.3 million in his last year before free agency.
Yeah.
Or no, he's got 1 more year of arbitration after this. So, like, he could be making even more than that next year. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
It's wild, man. And so they're protecting themselves. They're kind of setting him up, and and it's a gamble, though. Sorry, go ahead with B.
B is a good idea, yeah, because we're Cedon Rafaela, pretty good deal. Colt Keith so far, not so bad. Jackson Chourio, not so bad. Corbin Carroll, pretty good. Michael Harris II, have been problems. Julio Rodriguez, pretty good, right? Wander Franco, huge glaring issue, right? Huge.
Well,
Luis Robert Jr.
They're going to be off the hook for that. They're going to be off the hook for Franco, though. Let's be honest.
But I mean, like, I'm talking about instilling faith in your fan base for this player. It's more than just money. This is the cornerstone of a rebuild. This is the franchise guy. This is that, whatever, all this stuff that goes into it. And I think just from a marketing perspective, right? Just in like fan base faith in the player, Luis Robert Jr., maybe the one bright spot for the White Sox, still not all the way tradable. They struggled to decide if they were going to move him or could. Wander Franco's been a complete bust. Julio totally comes through. Michael Harris, there have been problems, like I said. Otherwise, pretty good when he's there.
Mostly he's been good, though, yeah.
Yeah, when he's there, it's fine. But you know what I mean? Like, Christian Campbell, not a great choice to sign him super early. So, I'm just like... So, anyway, this is the trend. This is the historical precedent. This is my justification. I think this is all... Yes, pre-arbitration. Yes, it's going to protect the team. Yes, it sounds really good for the player. They want stability and income. But all of this, to me, points to CBA. These are teams that feel like they know what they've got. These are teams that feel like they don't want anybody trying to take it away from them. They don't want people changing the rules partway through the game. So if they lock in these contracts now, before everything gets renegotiated, not only do they have a guy that's locked in, but you would think that a guy who's locked in like this, and the pep talk these guys must be getting, you're the guy, we love you, all that stuff, is going to play well when those players are polled or surveyed from a union perspective and they're being asked, how are you being taken care of? How do you feel about your current circumstances? Do you feel like you're being valued appropriately, et cetera, whatever else goes
Mm-hmm.
into it? These guys are now embedded ambassadors potentially, and they're not old enough. They don't have enough time in the league. They're not veterans who have seen how bad things can go. You know what I mean? So they're not
Mm-hmm.
also in the club of like these veterans like Scherzer who are just really pissed all the time at how the owners treat the players. These guys don't
Right.
have that. And so they're just these little, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot going on.
I think there is, and that's one thing that's really interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way because Julio signed a long-term deal his rookie year, like you said, 141 days of service time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember when he signed it, I was out fishing with my dad, Brig.
Yeah.
And when I found out, I was like, "Yeah, sweet, right?" And it's one of those things that I wondered at the time, like, is this him thinking I can cash in now, or was there more to this as far as like somebody being like, no, this is where you want to be, right? Because one thing Ichiro said in his number retirement ceremony just a few weeks ago was he said that Ken Griffey Jr. said, I think it was in his number retirement ceremony, that it took him leaving to realize how good he had it in Seattle.
Mm.
Ichiro said, it took me leaving as well to realize how good I had it. He said, that's why I came back. That's why I stick around.
Yeah.
And Julio said, both of those guys saying that makes me really glad that I have the long-term deal that I do. Those are not his exact words. That's basically what he said, is that like,
Right.
I'm where I want to be and I want to be here a long time. And so I think you're right though, that like these organizations showing some semblance of loyalty to these kids. They're kids at this point, basically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Of like, we believe in you. We want you to be our guy, our franchise cornerstone for however many years, until the last day of your contract at the very least, or
Mm-hmm.
until it makes sense to trade you. I think that goes a long way. And Cal Raleigh has said when he signed his contract extension, he said there was conversations about making sure you make moves at the deadline to get this team to where it needs to be to get to the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, which I thought was
Exactly.
really cool. But no, I think you're right though. I think it is kind of a sign of goodwill between the front office and the players. I think that makes sense.
Yep. And I think those, they're hoping to inject some of that positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's PR. It all comes down to PR, and the owners need a lot of goodwill and a lot of PR going into this CBA because they I think are playing hurt on
They are,
hearts and
and
minds, on the hearts and minds side of things,
they are,
not
and I think the
money.
other thing with it too is right. I think the other thing with it too, though, is that there's a give and take there. It's like you're a young guy. If you don't take this contract, you're making minimum for the next 3 years, and then you go to arbitration, or next 2 years if you're Super Two, you can go to arbitration early,
Yep.
right? And then we go from there, right? And at that point, we're not friends because we're trying to lowball you,
Right.
most likely, and you're trying to get more than what you think we think you're worth. And so it's like the player makes more money. The team doesn't have to pay out as much because could you imagine 6 years of Julio Rodriguez playing like he played as a rookie and then hitting free agency with 6 years of service time? How much more money he could have made than
Way,
120,000 ish is what the first 7 years of his deal are worth.
way
Like
more,
way more.
especially as the trend on free agent signings
Hmm.
has gone up
Yeah, by the time
precipitous
he
or
hit 6 years,
dramatically.
that would have been a massive number if he had kept that pace. Jared Kelnick decided not to sign the deal, and he's in the minor leagues right now and is probably not ever going to hit free agency. Well, not 6 years of service time at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So it's
interesting.
wild to think about.
I think everybody wins most of the time, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it's not as we have to look deeper than the headline. We have to look deeper than the astonishing dollar amounts for guys that are
Mm-hmm.
20 and 21.
Right.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors going into this.
But also, I think the last thing with this too, though, is that you look at a guy like you said, Christian Campbell hasn't gone well, right?
I don't think
But the
so.
team is financially invested in him more than most guys on that roster. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to provide him with the tools that he needs to get
Oh
back to the
yeah,
top and to stay there, because they don't want to be paying. I mean, they don't want to be paying him that much to underachieve at the big league level, but they certainly don't want to be paying him more than any minor leaguer just to be on the 40-man roster in the minor
no,
leagues, right? Like, I know
yeah,
he's not
no,
making his full money, but he's making more than anybody because he's on the 40-man. So I think that it does incentivize the teams to help develop guys more, which I think is kind of nice.
yeah.
Maybe
I
give
don't
them another
blame you.
chance. I don't know, but put the tools there to help them succeed.
Christian Campbell has a negative B WAR as of right now.
What is it? 0.5?
0.8, negative
0.8.
0.8.
It's worse than I thought. I thought it was
Yeah,
negative 0.5.
he's only got 51 hits. He's batting 223 and 229 at bats. 24 runs is all.
How many home runs?
6.
Probably not a home run. Yeah. What's his OPS plus?
Good question. Let's look. His OPS plus is 86.
There it is.
That's where your B WAR comes
Yeah.
from, right there.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy, man. But it's interesting, and I think coming back to Samuel Basallo, the big thing is what is going to happen to Adley Rutschman now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Does he move positions? Does he get moved entirely? I don't know. It's going to be something to keep an eye on this offseason, though, for sure.
Yeah, we're
Most
going to need
def.
to be paying attention because that's going to be a huge storyline.
Yep,
Huh.
absolutely. All right, last thing before we get out of here. MLB has reached somewhat of an agreement, or it sounds like at this point, I think it sounds like a handshake agreement. All they just need to do is just put the ink on the paper.
Yeah.
With ESPN. ESPN is going to sell out of market regular season games digitally and in market games for 5 teams over the next 3 years. This is going to be a new solution. It's going to be reshaped the way the MLB TV works. Remember, I talked a few weeks ago. I think you were out, Brig. I think it was on a live. I talked about how ESPN bought NFL Network.
Yeah.
ESPN has not bought MLB Network yet, but it seems like
It's
that's
going to
also in the
happen.
works.
It's going to
So
happen.
it's
Yeah.
going to happen. Yeah. One thing that's cool about this, Brig, is that if you just like sports in general, you can hop on the ESPN app, which, by the way, just launched direct to consumer. So you don't have to have cable or satellite to get this. If you pay $30 a month, you can get the ESPN app. We've been waiting for this for decades, Brig.
Seriously.
Ever since
Yeah.
things started streaming, like 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, we've been waiting for this. This is outstanding. But if you hop on the app, you can watch pretty much whatever you want as far as the sports world goes. I love watching college baseball on there. I like watching college soccer on there. Like, it's awesome. It's so good. And some Saturday mornings, there's nothing on. You know what we turn on, Brig?
Water polo.
Cricket.
Cricket. Yeah. Mel used to play water polo. That's why I jumped on
Oh,
water
yeah. No,
polo.
we do watch that at the Olympics, but no, we
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
cricket sometimes on Saturday mornings
It's
just
awesome.
because there's nothing else on.
See,
But
so I got to play devil's advocate. I don't
okay.
think this is good.
You don't think
I
so?
don't like it. No, I don't like it because I don't watch all those other sports.
Right. And yeah, so I don't think it's going to make MLB TV not available. I think it's
It
just
better
going to
not.
be like another way to get it, right?
See, now that's okay. I'm
Because
not paying an extra subscription service for a bunch of crap I don't
right.
want. I hate that.
Right, no, and I understand that. That's because I've done that for ESPN Plus for years. Like, I'm not super into all the documentaries. The one sports docuseries I really want to watch is on HBO. I don't watch Hard Knocks because
Yeah,
it's awesome.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Other than
It's a
that,
perfect
like,
example.
I'm good. I'm fine. Right. But yeah, we've
Yeah.
been paying for ESPN Plus for years, and finally started taking advantage of it over the last year with college sports. But now it's here, so I don't think we need it anymore. But something that is going to happen, though, is ESPN is not going to be taking back Sunday Night Baseball. We knew that was
Right.
going away because they opted out of the contract. They're like, we don't want that. We're not going to take it away. But now they're going to be offering all this other baseball instead, which is, I
Right.
guess, fine. They're not going to have the home run derby either. So instead, Sunday Night Baseball is up for grabs between Peacock and Apple. Apple has had, for those of you not paying attention or maybe forgot, Apple has had the Friday night doubleheader, which comes with mixed reviews, I feel like.
Yeah,
The
I'd say mixed
production
reviews.
value is outstanding.
It's
that is
phenomenal.
the crispest and clearest picture you get in all of baseball.
And
However, the
the little
commentary is not always
details they
matching.
give you on like so and so has this percentage of getting a base hit or this percentage of getting struck out or whatever. Like and it's so unassuming. Like ESPN's like, hey, did you know this? And it's the graphics are everywhere and it's all shoved down your throat.
Yeah.
Apple TV, they've spun it. They went the opposite direction and they're like, they feed the stacked heads with just enough, and then but it's accessible to the casual. They're killing it.
It's funny because you talk about that, and it's funny because my son noticed that, and he was like, "Dad, this guy has a 33% chance of driving a run here." I was like, "Nah, not really."
yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
I don't think it's as simple as they make it out to be, but it is a fun accessibility nod.
It is.
Because then even that, like you said, your son's like, wait, cool.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, that means that given the circumstance, the situation, 33% of the time he drives in a run. Do I think he's going to right here? Nah, probably not. But the last thing is that the home run derby is probably going to go to Netflix.
Yeah.
Because Netflix is getting into live sports. And how do you feel about that, Brig? I see people are very upset.
I don't
but
get
I'm not entirely sure why.
Yeah, I just want to see how it plays out. I think a short-term thing might be good. It might be bad. I don't know. I guess I'm up in the air on it, and I'll wait to see what happens.
My thing is, I watch most stuff on mute anyway, so as long as the picture's good, I'm fine. You know, like
that's awesome.
I don't care. But I can see though how everybody was very upset, like with was there a Jake Paul fight on Netflix?
Yeah,
and it crashed.
Yeah, constantly.
And when it wasn't crashing, it was buffering. So it's like,
yeah,
if Netflix can get their stuff together and get their servers right, and it works, like, great, cool. That's way more accessible, and I'm all about that.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Until then it's like, okay, I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on MLB and ESPN. I guess they've righted all their differences or whatever to some degree to be able to come to an agreement to give MLB a whole bunch more money that they need from ESPN. So anyway.
Yes.
Last thing, though, the very last thing before we get... Oh, sorry. I forgot, Brig. Did you know the Rockies were eliminated from the playoffs yesterday?
No, mathematically? No. That's
mathematically
amazing.
eliminated on August the 24th. Just so everybody knows. August the 24th, eliminated from playoff contention.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. But today in baseball history, August the 26th, 1950, catcher Roy Campanella homers in 3 consecutive at-bats, leading the Brooklyn Dodgers to a 7-5 win over your Cincinnati Reds. Campanella wound up in the Hall of Fame. Eventually.
It happens.
Cool. It does. I like it. I should say my Reds. I like the Reds. But baseball family, thank you so much for joining us this week for this Tuesday episode of the Baseball Together podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can, especially if you're on YouTube. If you haven't done it, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. And we will catch you next time.